gave me just 1 week to prep, not long enough as if I'm a pro at writing promises. Sure, why not? One time, my son I was told by my son, elder Saralyn, that I, a ghostwriter, the editor maybe, for having that reputation. This should be easy. I know it took me 1 whole week. I stayed up last night, late last night. I have been attending church with my children for quite some time. Never been asked to talk before. Don't get used to it though. Now I would like to invite all of my whole families to journey on memory lane with me back to my childhood time. It's going to be a bumpy ride, so hold on tight and stay with me. I should warn you not to fall asleep because you might fall off this thing that I'm whacking. My name is Saralyn, but I'm not known as Sister Mom. I came from a family of 10 with 8 siblings. My husband and I are blessed with 6 beautiful children of our own, 5 sons and 1 daughter. We all have different stories to tell, including my family members, Coons, and as well as Sister Sherry. Except for my sister, Tim Roy. She was just a baby then. I've heard some people say that they had a wonderful experience during that time. It was a lie for some of us to experience any nightmare during that time. Not everyone is as lucky as those who experienced that happy time. By the grace of God, my family, like many others, are left over from the Khmer Rouge genocide, Pol-Pot, happened between 1975 and 79, and may not be known while in America. Some are old enough to remember every detail, and some are too old and not even able to live through it, not to mention sharing the story. My parents, may the Lord bless their soul, did not get to share their story about the nightmare they went through. I too have a story to tell. In 1979, a large group of soldiers came to our village and told us to get out and take what we could and leave. You are being relocated to a different district. Where to, I have no idea. We were walking for so long and finally ended up in a concentration camp area somewhere. I don't remember how many other children are in that camp with me, but I do know they are in the same village as I. Of course, at this point, our family have already been picked and sorted like fruits and vegetables by age group and gender. My older sibling and my parents are separated into different concentration camps. I remember my camp was not too far from my parents' camp. I was between 5 and 9 years old at the time. According to my recollection, I remember waking up every morning doing the same thing. I remember going into the rice field and being told to pull all the weed from the ground. Weed as in grass, not anything fancy or expensive. If you catch my drift. There are leeches creeping between my little toes. They latch onto me and suck the blood out of me like a vampire. I remember being really scared. Got back out from the water and was yelled to go back and do what was told. Afterward, I remember rubbing my feet against the dirt, trying to get rid of the leeches. They were very stubborn and didn't want to fall off. Day after day, we pulled weed from the rice field. I was very hungry, tired, and exhausted from the handsome sun, hot sun. I call it handsome because to me it symbolized strong and powerful, like Heavenly Father. Get it? One time, we went into the Lotus Pond trying to catch some water snail. Yes, snails, the one with the shell on it, not the one that fall on land and got chased by the leash and climbed back out. I recall one early morning where we ran out from the shack to pick wood apples. It fell down from the tree branch when the wind blew hard. I could never get one because I was not fast enough. It does not have a pleasant taste. It has a juicy taste with lots of seed. We picked it because it was the only thing that we could snack on while we were working, actually playing. Yeah, they call it playing in the rice field. I always thought that my parents' camp was not too far from me. My dad works at a banana orchard to the right of my camp. Every day, we are reminded by the soldier that we cannot escape because the ghost would get us. They said other stuff too, like threatening lives, but all I heard was ghosts. Yeah, we believe in ghosts because folks in our village used to tell a story about them. One day, a group of us decided that we would sneak out to visit our parents, regardless of the warning by the soldier. I think it was around 3 or so in the morning because it was dark still. We were able to see the road because of the beautiful moon. We all sneaked out quietly. We huddled together with our arms locked and back towards each other. Each other so we could see and keep an eye for the ghost. I don't remember seeing any ghosts, but hearing scary sound coming from the bamboo bushes whenever the wind blows. It was kind of weird, come to think of it. The ghosts were full of scares during that time. Maybe because everyone was too busy working and tired, and too exhausted and didn't even have time for it. Every time there's a small gust of wind, there would be a weird sound coming from the bamboo bushes. There were about 5 or 6 of us. We would run every time we got close to the bamboo bushes. I remember thinking to myself, boy, it is far. We walked and ran till we reached our parents' camp. By the time we got to our parents' camp, it was dawn already. We had missed them. All I saw was my grandparents and my baby sister, Tim Kandori, at the time. My grandma asked, what are you guys doing here? If you're looking for your parents, you missed them. They left a while ago. They head out to the rice fields this time. I was so sad and mostly disappointed after all that trip. We came all this way and just to miss them. As we felt very down and proceeded to walk back to our camp, kicking dirt, and we came across this little puddle of pond. We call it pond. The size of a portable baby pool. By this lush tree with its long green fruit hanging from its branches. We call it, we could eat it. It's still green. Well, it's still green, but when it ripe, its use is just like a cotton for clothing. I thought I saw a fish in a pot of mud, so I walked in, and so did my friend. My older cousin Ian passed by and said, oh, what are you looking for? I said to him, we are trying to catch fish. He smiled and said, fish? There are no fish in there, just mud. He said, come out and head back before they notice you guys are gone. Oh, here comes the soldier. He quickly walked away from us. The soldier dragged us out from the mud and told us to wash ourselves in the shower creek nearby and walk back to our camp. They said, don't ever do that again if you want to die. He said, if you don't want to die, don't do it. Then we got back to camp. I remember waking up, looking from the inside, and feeling very hungry and tired. They locked my friend and I in a dark cell. I could not see anything but a small light in it. I don't recall how many days, maybe a few days after we got out, sitting in a group listening to our accounts of the day. As I looked up, I saw my dad walking on the levee across our camp to the banana orchard, to his workplace. I immediately jumped out my seat and ran across a small creek. Up the levee towards my dad. The water was about knee-high deep because I remember struggling trying to run across. I got a hold of his right leg and held him very tight. I heard a click sound from behind. I promised not to cry. My dad fell to the ground on his knees, cuddling me with both his arms, and with his 10 fingers begging for my life. He said, please don't shoot. She is just a child. She does not know any better. I promise she would not do this again. Please spare her life this time. One of the gunmen pulled and dragged me from my dad's arm while the other stood there ready to shoot. My dad thanked them very quickly, went back his way. I remained crying so hard, but at the same time I felt scared and really terrified, somehow with the perfect knowledge that whatever that soldier held in his hand could very well end my life. After that, I was back in the dark cell again. I don't know how many days had passed when we got out. We were back out on the field again. I heard one of the girls say, "You guys, you know they got rid of so-and-so for disobeying. They dragged her by her feet in that shallow creek, and that's how she died." I was so spiritually numb and didn't say anything. Maybe I kind of got used to whatever was being done to us and no point in worrying about it. I don't remember how many weeks or months after that. One day out in the field, when the war broke in 1979, we were again in the rice field pulling weeds. I heard a strange loud sound, which I never known or heard before. When I looked up, I saw this tiny object in the sky, and I got really scared. Somehow I knew I had to hide, so it wouldn't see me. All I could find was a small, tiny tree about 3 feet tall with leaves less than the hair on my head. A few minutes after that, the soldier called out to us and told us to run back to our camp. By the time we got to the camp, there was chaos everywhere. I saw my dad and other parents coming for their children. My dad picked me up and quickly rushed into his camp to get the rest of the family members. We were all running for our lives in every direction we think is safe to go. And the rest of the village were also trying to find their family members. After that, we all journeyed with other groups of families to find a safe haven. We would travel from one southern site to another trying to get to a refugee camp. During the journey, we lost both of our parents in one of the Saralyn sites that we stayed in. They were too old and very sick to travel, plus not enough food. They had passed away within weeks of each other, according to my mom. I did have a recollection of their passing, but did not know that their passing was a week apart. We kept moving from one southern site to another to find the refugee camp. I remember being so tired and exhausted from the long journey. As we got close, I heard people in our group say, "We are almost there." Everyone was so happy commenting, having rice to eat. Notice I didn't mention me. That's because all we had at the concentration camp was watery rice porridge. I remember saying to myself, "I don't mind eating it with salt, as I'm going." It was a while till we ended up in the refugee camp. We settled in and got some cooked rice. Guess what? Salt with rice for the time being. I thought to myself, this not taste good at all, as I expected. I just smiled. As time passed, I learned how to read and write Khmer. I stumbled on this book. Someone must have thrown it away or something. I came across the part where Adam